This doesn't look like London, huh? Because it's actually Lake Havasu City, Arizona. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the series where we take a look at lesser known, yet still interesting locations and landmarks. We were in a bit of a road tripping mood, so we decided to drive 3 hours from Phoenix into the desert. Located inconveniently in the middle of nowhere on the border between California and Arizona, Lake Havasu City is the location of a bridge that caught my interest because of how far it traveled to get to the desert. With a name like London Bridge, you wouldn't expect to see it in Arizona, but there's a whole tale to tell about how I got there. So after making our way through rock, sand, rocks, more sand, and more rocks, we finally got there. What you see before you is the 930-foot long London Bridge. And yes, it really is from London, England, all the way from across the Atlantic Ocean. London has had a ton of bridges crossing the River Thames throughout its history. This particular bridge was built in 1831 as a replacement for the original, ancient bridge that was at that location, which was falling apart. With the dawn of the automobile in the 1900s, the new London Bridge started to settle and sink from the added weight of all the cars and trucks that were crossing it every day. Since it was built before them, I can only assume the weight was too much for the design, but then again, I'm not a structural engineer. So the Common Council for the City of London decided to sell the bridge, which, by the way, is not a thing I knew you could do, just sell a bridge. Story goes that in 1968, Lake Havasu's founder, Robert P. McCullough, Sr., bought the bridge from the City of London. He thought that the bridge and its origin story would serve as a draw for tourists and help grow Lake Havasu City as one of its main attractions. I guess it worked, because I'm here some 50 years later. He bought the bridge for around $2.4 million in 1968 money, which is more than $17 million today. But to me, it kind of seems pretty cheap for a whole bridge, if you ask me, even if it is used. Each granite brick of the bridge was numbered and then literally shipped from London to Lake Havasu by way of the Panama Canal, and then by truck to their current resting place. You can even see some of the numbering on, I think, some of the exterior facing bricks. There were over 10,000 bricks in total. So if it couldn't handle the stress of the cars before, why can't it today? Well, apparently they replaced the inside of the bridge with steel instead of just bricks, so it's a lot stronger now, or at least I hope so. The lampposts that are on the bridge are also from the bridge's homeland, and apparently were formed from the melted down cannons of Napoleon's army after the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Pretty neat, actually. They were once part of a battle and now serve as part of a tourist trap in the middle of the desert. Very dignified. There are also some nice designs on the actual lampposts themselves. Nowadays, when you visit, you will see plaques talking about the bridge and its history, as well as an iconic London telephone box under one end of the bridge. Take a pic from inside the booth while you're there. Everyone else is doing it. There's also a London-themed open-air shopping mall complex, which is hilariously American, if you ask me. London Bridge is one of the most visited attractions in the state of Arizona, and well worth a visit, even if it's way out of the way. Come walk along the bridge and imagine it back in its original place in London, England, and then have some lunch in one of the nearby restaurants. It's a good time. So, until next time, see ya.